Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to be using the awesome Divi Supreme Modules plugin. It's a great addition to the Divi theme, and we're going to create these buttons. We've got a sort of animated button here that when you click on it, it'll open a video lightbox, which is really handy. And we've also got another animated button here that when you click on it, it'll make an automatic phone call. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, I'm simply going to delete this module. Okay, so I've got a single row here, blue tab for a section, green tab for a row, and the dark button or a dark tab for a module. I'm going to click on the little dark circle with a white cross in it to add a new module. Divi as standard comes with all these light grey modules, and you get an extra 12 if you've got products set up with WooCommerce. These purple ones right here are the modules you get with the Divi Supreme, and there's about 40 of them. Okay, let's find some Supreme buttons. There we are. And as you can see, it gives you an option, button 1, button 2. If you just want one button, just put something in the first one or the second one. It doesn't matter. If you don't put anything in the text, the button will not show up. So let's say watch video. And we've done video buttons before. And whatever it is you want to put in your phone call button. Now if we move on down to the links, we've got button 1, and you can choose from a URL, email, phone, SMS, Facebook Messenger, etc. There's some great options there. I'm going to leave this one on URL because I actually want it to open in a video lightbox. If we scroll down just a little bit more, you're going to see open as video lightbox. And for the video, you put it in the button 1 URL up here. So I'll just grab a video from YouTube and paste the link in there. Great. If you want to use a tooltip, you can put this on. And what a tooltip is, when they hover over the button before they actually click on it, it'll pop up, or wherever you put it. I'll demonstrate quickly with this one. And we'll say watch YouTube video. And as you can see, it's got that tooltip when you hover over it. I don't particularly want that today because it's pretty self-explanatory. But that's a nice little option. So I'm going to just switch that back off again. Don't need a separator. If you want to put one in, you can do that right here. And what the separator actually is, it's text that will appear in between the two buttons. So if we just put something in here, as you can see, it appears between the two buttons. If you've got a comment, you can put that in there. I don't need that today either. It's a nice little feature though. Okay, let's move on to our design tab. Alignment, I want my buttons to be in the middle of the row. So I'm simply going to hit that. The lightbox, well, I've got a video pop up, and when the video pops up, it's going to pop up in a lightbox. And you can control the background color. Just out of interest, I'll put a blue color in there. And you've got options for your text, separator text, and tooltips text. We haven't got those two. For sizing, it's the text separator gap between the two buttons there. We haven't got any text in there, so it won't make any difference at the moment. But if we move on down to button 1, we can start styling our buttons. And I want to use custom styles for the button. So I'm going to flip that to on. Text size for me, that's absolutely fine. Text color, I kind of want that to be white. It sort of disappeared into the white background. But the background color itself, let's make it blue. And if we hover over here where it says button 1 background, hit the little arrow and we can give it a hover color as well. So we'll make the hover color red. That's great. And button border width. I really don't want a border on my button because you'll have to change border color as well as background color. So I'm going to just take that down to 0 and we'll have no border on there. Don't need to put a border color in because there isn't one. Now if you want a sort of pill-shaped button or a button with rounded corners, you can set the border radius. For a sort of pill-shaped button, 50 pixels usually does a nice job. And you just have to put in the 50 with most of these fields. It'll put in the pixels for you. If you want to use percentage or M's in any one, you just simply select the pix and type in whichever value you want there. Button 1 letter spacing is absolutely fine. The font, I'll leave it as the default. I think I will capitalize my font. And when I hover over it, you see a little icon there. I don't want that icon, so I'm going to turn this off. If you want it, just leave it on yes, and there's got all these fantastic elegant themes icons here for you to choose from. So I'm going to turn mine off. I will give it a bit of text shadow. It makes it stand out just a little bit more on the button there. You can adjust your text shadow settings if you need to. Now margins is going to push it down or push it up and give it more space top and bottom. The padding on the button, top and bottom will make it fatter, top and bottom, left and right will make it wider. So let's say top and bottom will give it 20, and as you see that makes it larger that way. If we give it sort of 50 left and right, it'll make it larger that way. But what I might do here is I think I'm going to take away my left and right. So I'm simply going to delete that. I'll leave that 20 in there. In fact, 20 is a little too much. I'll put 15 in there. If you've got this link checked, it'll do both top and bottom, left and right for you at the same time. And I'm going to add a little box shadow. Now the reason I'm leaving this blank is I'm going to set, with a bit of custom CSS, I'm going to set a width for both buttons, so although the text is wider on one than the other, they'll both be the same width. Okay, so we're good to go. Let's go up and close this up. Now rather than going through all that with button 2, if I just close this up, I'm going to right click, I'm going to say copy button 1 styles, then I'm going to right click on button 2 and say paste button 1 styles. And as you can see, it's done it. So the only thing I want to change that is the background color and the hover color, so we've got 2 different color buttons. So if I go in there, let's go down to the background and make the background blue, and on hover let's make it purple perhaps. Now the default transition between the 2 colors is 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick, which is fine for most applications. But if you slow it down, you get a nice color transition between whatever the 2 colors may be. So if we go to our Advanced tab, looks like they're the same color on desktop version there. Let's make this red on desktop. There we go. If we go to our Advanced tab, and we'll go down to Transitions, as you can see there's 300 milliseconds. I'm going to up that to about 800 milliseconds. Maybe too slow for some people. I don't want 8 seconds. There we go. I want 800 milliseconds. Fantastic. And I don't want to delay. And we'll ease in, ease out, which means it'll sort of go in, slow down, and then do the reverse on the way out. Great. So we've got our buttons, but I haven't actually assigned number 2 anything to do. So let's make this make a phone call. So we'll go back to our content, we'll go back to links, button number 2 this time. I'm going to drop this down and say phone, and simply put your phone number here. You want to put the country code in. We're in the USA, so it's 01, and then the number. That's great. Okay, those aren't too bad. They're almost the same width, but let's make them for sure the same width. And to do that, let's go to our Advanced tab. We'll use a bit of custom CSS. And here we are, button 1. And I'll put this CSS below the video so you can copy it. You're welcome to use it if you need to. It's very simple. I'm just going to say width. And what shall we say? 250 pixels? Semicolon. And as you can see, that's got a lot wider. That's why I didn't bother putting padding left and right, because it would have been overwritten with the width. You really shouldn't use both, but it's fine. And I'm simply going to copy that to button 2. And now they're both exactly the same width. Fantastic. So let's hit the save. Save our page changes, little purple button down the bottom. Save with the green button. Exit the Visual Builder. And here's our buttons. As you can see, when I hover over it, there's a nice sort of gradient color change between the two as we've made it 800. And click on it, the video pops up. And the Call Us one, same thing with the hover effect. When you click on it, it'll prompt you that it's going to call an external number. Now when you're on a phone, you hit that, it'll just dial it all automatically for you. This, you can do it with Skype on your desktop. Now there's one more thing that I haven't done. If we go back in there, and it gives you the option to add some crazy animations to these buttons. So let's enable the Visual Builder again. Once loaded, let's go back into our module here. And if we go to Design, scroll down, we've got animations at the bottom. Now we've actually got options for button 1 and button 2, so you can have different on each, and there's a lot of animations you can use here, and they've got some crazy effects. I'm just going to say pulse and grow on the first one, and as you can see, once you put it in there, it'll show you the effect. And for the second one, let's say bob. I'll sort of bob up and down. There we go. Save that and we're done. Exit the Visual Builder. And there we have it. And not only does the color change, now it sort of pulses in and out. And the same with this one, it bobs up and down with it. Also, you've got that color change there. So there's some nice little features you can add to your site with the Divi Supreme modules there. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.